Alright, this previously got flagged for copyright and I'm not a rapper, so here's an acapella. Now here's a lyrical truth. Open up your eye while you're checking out the boom bop. Check the exercise. Take the word overseer like a sample. Repeat it very quickly in a crew. For example, overseer, overseer, overseer. Officer, 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 yeah, officer from overseer. You need a little clarity. Check the similarity. The overseer rode around the plantation. The officer is off patrolling all the nation. The overseer can stop you. What are you doing? The officer will pull you over just when he's pursuing. The overseer had the right to get ill, and if you fought back, the overseer had the right to kill. The officer has the right to arrest, and if you fight back, they put a hole in your chest.
Break down the difference between white and black people real quick, as far as the law is concerned, and what a lot of fucking cops know. There's a lot of black people fucking they cause their own fucking problems as far as the law is concerned. So this is a black person. That's a reply I got from a black person. The question is fairly simple. It's just, have you seen this? Have you not seen this? See that reply right there becomes with, hi, I'm not ignoring you. Well, you're ignoring the question. The question was a yes or no, so you're ignoring something. That's where we start with this shit. And then you see it keeps going. It's all just guilty talk, right? Now, here's a white person. It's a white person. Same question. Very different response. See how it goes? See how this person even says best of luck at the end? Because the person seems to understand that I'm in a situation in which I would need luck or help. And see how this person is saying, have a blessed day, as if God wanted this, as if God wanted the bad situation that I'm in. That's differences between white and black people right there. So anyway, let's listen to some music, because I feel like a fucking cop. It's just basically what it comes down to. I needed to kind of figure out who's guilty, who's not guilty. And what's hilarious to me is what it seems like white people they have an understanding that there are people who are guilty and they don't want any part of this. And then I got black people like this who either don't think there's anybody guilty or want to implicate themselves in it. And this is exactly how it ends up happening when you hear about all these black people going to jail and shit like that, and nobody snitched, because they don't have to snitch. They snitch on themselves. It's this whole fucking thing. And then they start blaming other people because they basically snitched on themselves. And this is an example of it. But anyway, this song kind of breaks down my situation. And I've seen these fucking like YouTube reactionary videos. So we're going to have a reaction to the song Heathens by 21 Pilots. So before I even go any further, see, all my friends are heathens. Take it slow. Now, you see that the way this response is from this person is protecting themselves and everybody else the way it's going. Thank you so much for your appreciation of my work. It's very much appreciated. I don't feel like I can offer more involvement or advice on your situation, but hope it all works out. Now, again, this is the exact same situation as this other person, which is just simply, hey, have you seen something I tagged you in? Because I tagged you on things, you haven't responded. Seems kind of odd, just wondering if you've seen it. Now, you see this other person's response? Hi, I'm not ignoring you, but as you can imagine, 40K followers, my DMs, all that is involving other people. All that is saying, you need to talk to other people about me. Now, that is kind of snitching, because that's kind of what that's saying is, if you're a cop in a situation like that, well, now I got to start asking others. That's going to start increasing the chances that either they lie for you or they tell the truth for you. It doesn't matter. It means that when I talk to you again, you're going to be more confused. You're more likely to incriminate yourself one way or the other. Again, this isn't really the way a cop is thinking about it, because a cop wants you to incriminate yourself, but this is how stupid people who don't understand crime and when they get involved in it act. They do things like this. So anyway, let's go on with the song. Wait for them to ask you who you know. So again, let's not forget those things. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Again, so this is free Mathew Rushin, is a black person. Again, his account, he himself is an autistic person, but from my understanding, his account is ran by either his sister or mother, so they're not autistic. And instead of waiting to ask who they know, I mean, I can see right there, they're followed by Attorney Kronk and Haley Shevner. Those are two people that I follow, so I don't have to really ask them who they know. But instead of waiting for me to ask, hey, do you know this or that? Again, my DM exchange with them is just simply, have you seen this? Yes or no? Instead, they're basically telling me, ask other people. These are the people I know. These are other, my DMs, I got 40K followers, all this other shit. So that's the difference between white and black people, just right then and there. So don't make any sudden moves should be self-explanatory. You don't know the half of the abuse. Now let's break this down again, because this is Mathew Rushin. He is a black person. The account is run by his sister or mother normally. He's autistic. He had an injustice happen to him. He was arrested. Basically, he had got in a car accident. He started repeating shit that the other person said. And the cops used that against him because normally you wouldn't be saying those things because the other person wouldn't be, it's what the other person said. It's kind of similar to what his sister or mother did in their reply to me, in that they're echoing things. In other words, they're not speaking for themselves because I'm not ignoring you. Well, you are ignoring me. As I can imagine, again, you're speaking about other people. This was a very direct question of yes and no. Have you seen something? And they're going down this list of just other things. So, again, in comparison with a white person, you don't know the half of the abuse. Now, the fact is, whether it be Mathew Rushin or this person, Megan Woodward, they don't know the half of the abuse. They don't. I can only post so much, and the fact of the matter is, again, this isn't a situation in which I'm approaching it from the opposite end. In other words, like, oh, somebody has already been killed or somebody's already been arrested, and I'm doing it. It's that way. I'm trying to avoid these things, and because of that, and because it's ongoing, I can't speak about these things fully. It's just that would be silly. And it's not appropriate. So they don't know. They just don't know what's going on. A normal person, or, again, I don't want to put it that way, but it is what it is. It's usually the difference between white and black, and I'm not saying that black people are not normal. I want to make sure that I'm being very clear on that. But what I am saying is, normally, if you're not guilty or you don't have any involvement in anything, and someone asks you, hey, did you see something or not? And maybe you have an idea that some other things are going on, but you don't know what else is going on. This is normally how you would kind of respond. It's a pretty yes or no. I don't feel like I can offer any more involvement or advice on your situation. No matter how you word it, it's that. It's really that simple. For the Mathew Rushin person, a kind of similar reply for them would have just been yes or no. I haven't seen that. Other than that, I can't. I have 40K followers. I have my own things going on. I don't have the ability to help you. But instead, they're saying they utilize their platform as I see fit. So they're seeing it fit to not help someone, which in this particular case makes them guilty because that's what they do. They help people. So why are you lying to basically the majority of people and saying that this is, what you do is out there trying to help people if that's not what you're doing? So anyway, let's go on with the fucking song. Within the first not even fucking couple seconds, you can see how the difference between white and black people, and how black people will normally incriminate themselves while white people won't. But all my friends are heathens. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. Sorry about that pause there. Don't know the half of the abuse. Welcome to the room of people who have rooms of people that they love one day. Down to it. Just because we check the guns at the door doesn't mean no brains will change from hand grenades. So this I'm just gonna throw this out there real quick of the welcome to the room. That's a Tonio Skits there. That's a person who has about 1 million something followers. And you can see there he replied to basically very similar to this kind of live stream I did, kind of talking about a situation with him kind of more personally. But you see, he has 1.8 million followers. He replied. I don't make a big deal about these things. In other words, I check my guns at the door for a reason. Because again, I am not approaching this in I need or want 1.8 million followers. That's not what I need. What I need is to kind of just have understand who's guilty, who's not, and what's going on. And that actually is the reverse. So I don't need that many followers. I actually need as little as possible for exactly this reason. See Antonio Skits, he's not worried. Those comments were almost immediate. He didn't have any fear. He didn't have anything, he's not worried. Why? He has no guilt. He has zero guilt. In comparison to somebody like Mathew Rushin, who, now I know I've tagged them before. I don't know if they've seen those before or not, but it seems like they do, and it seems like they have guilt because they're starting off with, I'm not ignoring you. Again, I never accused them of ignoring them, just like I never accused Tonio Skits of ignoring me. All I did was tag him in a post. If Tonio Skits hadn't responded to my post, I would have done the same thing for him. Except, this is the weird thing about it. For him, it would have been much more reasonable and understandable if he didn't reply at all. But he did, because that's somewhat normal. It just is somewhat normal. Just for many reasons, it's normal, at least in that particular situation. It is not normal for someone like Justice for Mathew Rushin, to not respond to posts they're tagged in. For many reasons. One, they have less followers. Two, the purpose of their account is very different. So, let me go on with the song, but this is exactly why I feel like fucking call me detective today, because in a lot of ways, I was putting this together. I wasn't trying to entrap anybody. I definitely wasn't fucking trying to have this outcome. But knowing this outcome is the same way I could imagine cops feel when they're like, oh, yep, figured that one out. So anyway.
You'll never know the psychopath sitting next to you. You'll never know the murderer sitting next to you.
Also, so let's talk about this Mathew Rushin thing. I don't know. I don't think I have it loaded, unfortunately, there. But it'll probably show up on this. So he is apparently getting attacked by somebody who photoshopped some photos of him, and I don't know what's going on. It seems very silly. It doesn't even seem real to me. But in these posts in which the person who runs the Justice for Mathew Rushin account posted, they're asking people for help in, I guess, reporting the account. And then you can see there they tagged Sean King. Now, going back to that lyric of you sitting there with the psychopath, you're sitting there with a psychopath next to you. That's how I felt when I saw that she tagged Sean King on that particular post. And it's not because I have anything particularly against Sean King. But he is, as far as I can understand, he is definitely much more well-known and much more controversial than I am, period. And so tagging Sean King on something like that also, without getting too much into it, also indicates a certain level of guilt. Because, of course, Anthony Crump wouldn't be the attorney Crump would not be the appropriate person to kind of handle something like this, and that is someone who follows her or that particular account. But then again, Sean King, not necessarily either. That's you're making this to a bigger level than seems reasonable. You know what I mean? Like, very realistically, this is a private account with like 9 followers, and they're saying they're gonna put, yes, I understand it's scary. They're saying that they're gonna put Mathew back in jail, but you have lawyers as friends that follow your account. You have made many different contacts. That shouldn't be a real fear of yours. It's very odd to be throwing that out there. So anyway, let me go on with the song.
Think I'd get here sitting next to you, but after all I've said,
please don't forget.
all my friends are here.
Take it slow. for me, that's also just one of those things that, it's hard, it's difficult for me to admit, but it's a certain fact. The way that that I could end up in this situation is because most of my friends are heathens. But it's also, that's why I know heathens when I see them. And also, I don't accuse heathens of being heathens unless I have some sort of, good enough evidence from me. So that's why, I haven't done these kind of things previously for the most part. This account has been around for a long time as far as Justice for Mathew Rushin. I have tagged them in posts, but I haven't particularly DM'd them or done anything because, again, none of this is, this isn't like planned out. In that sense, it's not like I'm being a cop in the sense that this isn't plans. Like I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna plan on busting fucking, Mathew Rushin for at the very least being weird. Again, I don't know exactly what's going on, but I know there's something very odd going on. And it's beyond me. It's not just me. There's something odd going on all around. Like I said, if you just, kind of just a reminder as to why would I say that? This is only one person. There's many examples, but the thing is, I don't feel, it feels odd it's just like a cop. Cops don't go around telling everybody, hey, I eliminated that person as not a suspect. Not while there's an active investigation normally, because, they're still looking for someone. So, for me to post about this particular interaction that I had is silly. It was a perfectly normal interaction. I'm posting about it now, in the sense that I feel like I have to kind of, for those who do not understand or may not know, just kind of everything that's going on. It isn't reaching or an exaggeration that, yes, no, factually, there are many things odd, with the account Justice for Mathew Rushin. The reply to me and how that happened is just part of a larger body of evidence of that. But because it's, it affects me personally, that's why I feel personally affected by it, because it changes things for me. It lets me know that for whatever reason or something happening, that this person who doesn't know me, shouldn't have any knowledge of me, feels as if they do. Versus someone else who I have interacted with online much more, realistically, doesn't feel comfortable stating that, because the fact of the matter is they understand that they wouldn't be able to know. They wouldn't be able to know. If they wanted to know more, then, instead of saying, I don't feel like I can know for more, it would be like, hey, tell me more. That's when, it's appropriate to say, tell me more. But basically what Justice for Mathew Rushin is doing is kind of is saying, hey, tell me more. I utilize my platform as I see fit, and I don't ever disrespect anyone. Well, that, I'm trying to spread awareness, not cause any controversy. That's exactly what I'm doing. So you're the one who's doing something weird, not me. So anyway, let's go on with the song, because shit, can I even finish the song? I mean, it's a lot of repeats anyway.
Don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. We don't deal with outsiders very well. They say newcomers have a certain smell.
Let me go over that real quick, because everybody I know, everybody has my friends, my family, that whole line right there, we don't deal with outsiders very well. We say that they have a certain smell. That's me in my life. Thing is, you wouldn't probably know that. You just probably wouldn't know that. But that's just a fact. And so the reason why that's important to have an understanding, it's kind of like the cops. One of the main reasons I'm posting is because the cops have such a closed loop, or closed mouthed, policy or culture, in that I can't find out what the hell's going on. They're not talking. They're not saying anything that's going on. And if they are, they're just talking bullshit. And my friends and family have always been the exact same way in this type of situation, which is the situation I'm in, which is, it's the staying. That's a problem, because there's no reason for it. There's nobody it's like, I had this example earlier today, because this has happened to me a few times. It's like a police officer coming up to me and asking me for ID when I'm out in public and I haven't done anything wrong. And I'm just like, no, I don't need to show you my ID. And I walk off. Or I should say, instead of walking off, I just stay there. Like, I basically just keep hanging around the cop, waiting for the cop to keep asking me questions. Like, there's certain times where it's okay for you to walk off, and you might as well walk off. And he, KRK just stayed. Anyway, this song's almost over.
I tried to warn you just
To stay away. And now they're outside ready to bust. It looks like you
looks
may.
like you might be one of us.
And that one. So, it's just really what it comes down to. Outside ready to bust. Well, I'm not a cop. If I had a gun, would I fucking shoot KRK? Probably. Just because it is what it is. Like, the mother of my child and everybody else involved, anything I do to them, it's kind of fucked up. More than likely, people will judge me on it. I could end up going for life in prison, all kinds of shit. You get what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't really make sense. And then I leave my daughter too without anybody. Like, for me, the whole point is that she should be with me. And at the very least, I should be allowed to be a father to her. So, doing shit like that is to the mother of my child or them that is outside of the law isn't really smart. But someone like KRK, I wouldn't necessarily think twice about it, other than, right now it's stupid. But I'm saying, like, if he kept getting involved, if he was trying to track me down and he was trying to make this about him, well, then yeah. Nobody who's gonna judge me on that one. He's the one who fucking involved himself in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, why the fuck would I not? You know what I'm saying? There's many reasons why I wouldn't, but I'm just saying it's a whole different fucking thing, right? So, in comparison to that fucking song about like, yo, now they're outside ready to bust, it's like, that's exactly how I feel about both him and Justice for Mathew Rushin. Not necessarily, and both of them, it's not necessarily that I would have wanted to get violent with them. It's just that factually, the rights are there. You know what I'm saying? Like, factually, there's something weird with them. They're doing something odd, and they're very purposely trying to, even if you want to put an obstruction of justice, fuck with my life, allow things to happen, they're very purposely doing these things. And because I wasn't looking to try to make them seem that way, or I wasn't even looking for shit, like, I was just trying to figure shit out, it's not as if, basically, I didn't have any comparisons. I didn't have any fucking comparisons. But, things have happened lately where, like, when I reached out to Megan, that was purely organic. That just happened to be, I can't exactly remember, something happened where it felt right to reach out to her and be like, oh, this is what's going on. And she replied in a very normal way. And that's no different than Mathew Rushin, other than, they didn't reply in a normal way. But as far as, it just basically is what it is. I saw some posts yesterday. I ended up writing about it. I tagged them. And then I was like, it's kind of weird that they're not replying. Let me DM them to see if they've even seen it. And instead of just replying yes or no, even after I said, please, just reply with a yes or no. It's not shown here, but I did in the DM state as clearly as possible, like, yo, just reply with a yes or no. Very similarly to the way I did with Megan Woodward. And instead they reply all this way. So anyway, I wonder how long this one took, but yeah, like I said, I could do this all day. And the issue is, I may have to, because the thing is, like, they're out there looking for fucking help as it is. And now it just doesn't seem right. Like, things doesn't seem right. And other people probably should kind of get involved anyway. And kind of give some kind of opinion as to what the fuck is really going on. Because, they're out there, tagging Sean King and saying all the shit that's happened to them. And that supposedly they're looking for help for other people. And then in a situation like this, they're not helping. And actually working against. And it's too weird. It's too fucking weird. One thing I didn't mention is this is now, I think, the third. I wonder how many I'll do. Maybe if I set a goal, I'll hit it. Maybe maybe 10 sounds reasonable. Although that sounds like a lot, but maybe not. Maybe 10 posts about this sounds reasonable. But anyway, they blocked my account, which I find, much more, even more suspicious, because it's kind of one of those things. Like, what did I write to you that says to you that you should block my account? I didn't write anything that should, like, I literally just asked you if you saw something or not. You then replied this, and then I posted about the fact that this seemed odd. And if it's not odd, I would like to have a reply, but, like, I just, what am I going to do? Keep doing this fucking DM exchange? Like, it's silly. Other people should be involved. That's what I'm saying. If you're not doing anything weird, why are you afraid or weirded out by other people getting involved? So the block in my account seems even odder. Anyway, that's been a musical review with Charlie this morning. Also, I want to mention the mask thing real quick, because the mask thing is really, is bugging me out, because, fucking Kanye, you see, he came out with these fucking masks or whatever too. And I had been doing the whole fucking mask thing, and I was all somewhat subconscious about the fact that I was doing the mask thing, and I wondered how people would fucking react to it. And then you see Kanye does it, and everybody fucking is all into it. Point being what that is, I am just apparently ahead of my time. There's very often that I do things, that I do them before other people have been doing them. And then when I was doing them, people are all like, that's weird. Why are you doing that? And I'm like, watch. And then see, other people start fucking doing it. And then it becomes commonplace. So anyway.